Hi, it's Allison. Welcome to Allison Appreciates. Thank you for appreciating being on the planet with me. Being alive is magnificent. Getting a chance to welcome any desire we wish, also magnificent. And one thing I wanted to talk about today was unconditional love. And something I've been seeing lately with some of my clients is that we get the sign. Oh, we're so happy. Oh, they're coming closer. They're this, they're that. And that's wonderful. I would just counsel you to notice that if you're feeling that way and something just happened and it made you feel really happy, that when there isn't a sign, when there is distance, when there is silence, you're very likely not going to be able to just laugh it off and be cool with it, because it's that high highs and low lows thing, because we're reacting to what's in front of us. And so when it is good, it feels wonderful. We feel a flood of emotion. We feel a rush of emotion. We're so happy. But then when it's bad, it's really hard to come out of it, and it's really hard to accept it as 3D catching up, accept it as no big deal, and make our imagination the most important place. Remember, the two gifts are mind and speech. It's not the 3D. The two gifts are not speech and things I can taste, touch, see, and feel. No, it's up here. It's our imagination. So I just wanted to share that because I want everyone to remind themselves that you can be happy without it. You can be happy without a sign. You can be happy without movement. You can be happy without your desire presenting where other people can see it, because you can always see it, because you have the choice, because you get to focus on what you want, regardless of what anyone else does, regardless of what an SP does, regardless of what your bank account says. And this is really important because we want to be happy in an unconditional way. To desire just to have it, well, that feels pretty good. So why don't we just say that we've desired it, so therefore we have it, so let's be happy. Let's be happy, because if we take the time, we can use Neville's method to imagine how it feels to feel our SP beside us. And if you can't do that right away, you can work up to it, because you can start with the piece of silk, as he says. You can start with the tennis ball, and then the ping pong ball, and then the rose. And of course, you can do this with things that are in your general experience and in your immediate experience, so that you can build up to feeling the warmth of the leg of your specific person sitting beside you on the couch. It takes some time to get there, but you can imagine this. You can twirl the wedding ring on your finger in your imagination. I do it all the time. It feels great. Pardon me. So just remember that, yeah, it's wonderful to be excited about a sign and to enjoy it, but be mindful to be generally happy. To be, isn't it wonderfuling if you see a sign or if you don't see a sign? To be in the space of knowing it's yours, so it doesn't matter when it shows up. Like, I understand we do want to see it, feel it, touch it, taste it, and we want to show off to our friends. We want to say, you didn't think I could get this person back, and look, they're devoted to me. They're hopelessly in love with me now. We want the validation because it feels good to have our desires validated in the eyes of others. But then that means that we're beholden to if something goes wrong, and we tell them about it too, because they never forget. This is why Joseph Murphy talks about, do not talk poorly about your mate, your husband, to any of your friends or family, because they will never forget. They will just remember those terrible things that you said about that person, about how they hurt you, how they did whatever. And I'm not trying to downplay what it feels like when someone you're close to in that special way does something that hurts your feelings, right? That's it's a true thing. It hurt your feelings, right? Your feelings were affected by one of their actions. But Joseph Murphy was very clear about, don't parade those around your friends and family, because then you're giving your friends and family ideas of, well, this person isn't good enough for my friend, and this person isn't good enough for my daughter and my son. And they don't forget, because they care so much about you that they think that that's what is, protecting you, and they want to protect you from further hurt. And so they feel like they're on your side, right? They feel like they're your defenders. They feel like they're in your corner, and they care about you. So they're not doing it from a place where they don't mean well. They do. They mean well. But the point is, with unconditional love, is to see this thing that happened with your partner, see that it hurt your feelings. Remind yourself that you allowed yourself to feel hurt by said action. Now, I'm not excusing abuse, but I'm just saying, if they took too long to text you back when they promised they would because of whatever, okay, we can get all up in arms about that because we feel like that means that they don't care, because they didn't strictly adhere to their word, right? Let's just say, for an example. But if we can give them the benefit of the doubt and think, well, of course they wanted to text me, they got caught up in something else, or of course they wanted to reach out, but they wanted all the details first, or of course they wanted to reach out, but they didn't have time and they wanted the time to reply to me. Of course, all that is true. So when we make it true for ourselves, as we make the story that we want true for us, then we claim the happiness ourselves, and they didn't have to change it all to affect it. And one thing I love from Abraham Hicks that helped me for a long time when I was in a situationship years ago was, I've made our relationship stronger. I've made our relationship stronger. I've made our relationship stronger. Just by having this extra layer of desire that I haven't caught up to yet, because that's the way that Abraham puts the 3D catching up, is that they put it that you make your desire bigger by something happening negatively. So you ask for the improvement, and the disconnect is source goes right away to your improvement, but you're back here still, right? So that's the disconnect. That's why you feel bad. It's not because of the other person. It's because source has already just immediately lined up with the improvement. That's why we have contrast. That's why bad things happen. So we can line up with improvements. So we can ask for more. So we can continue being eternal. If we just sat around and nothing ever happened, then wouldn't our lives be like really boring? Oh, we just have everything all the time. Like, if we didn't have anything, we had to massage or soothe or tweak or fine tune. Like, wouldn't we be a bunch of boring mofos? We would be so boring. So, I mean, there are reasons why contrast is present. Not only does it inform our eternal nature, but it helps us, mostly that, but I mean, it helps us grow. It helps us fine tune. It helps us focus, because if you notice that you're feeling bad about a thing and you decide, well, feeling good is my birthright, so why am I feeling bad about this thing? And it's generally all up here anyway, right? Like, because we can put whatever we want up here. So if we can make this story true for us up here, I don't care about nuance, doesn't matter. It's just we make it true up here in a way that works for us. And I mean, usually being general with that is better, but even just that, isn't it wonderful, right? Even just that everything is always working out for me, even if I don't see it in this moment, it's all working out for me. If we do that, then we've calmed the oldest part of our brain, right? So we're activating our parasympathetic nervous system. We're overriding that caveman, cavewoman, cave person part of our brain that wants to tell us something different. And we're just ready to let more good flow, because we've stepped into our unconditional loving selves, right? We're going to love that person who hurt our feelings anyway, because it's worth loving them. Because loving them feels better than feeling disappointed by them or feeling hurt by them. Loving them just feels better. It just literally feels better. The lightness of it, the all-encompassingness of it, the joy of it is not found in nitpicking and pulling them apart and being upset by what they did. It is by giving them the benefit of the doubt, looking at them and saying that, oh, this is good for me to notice that I felt this way, and that I get to not decide to feel this way longer than I have to. I get to process this emotion out. I get to feel this emotion, and I get to process it, activating my parasympathetic nervous system, and then moving on to the next thing and just unconditionally loving them again, because it feels way better than conditionally loving them, because that's what society does to everyone. And guess what? Society is terrible at loving people. It just is, right? Because they're only going to love you when you do the right thing. They're only going to love you when you're perfect, when you're really good, and when you're this and when you're that, and you don't ruffle feathers, and you don't this, and you don't that. So, I mean, don't don't love like society loves, right? Oh, you're at the top of the mountain. Great. I'm going to love you while you're there. Great, great, great. Oh, you're starting to slip a little and you screwed up. Oh, well, I'm taking that approval away because you screwed up. And once you get to the top, you're not allowed to screw up ever. So, all of that. So practice unconditional love by giving people the benefit of the doubt, by giving it to yourself, by remembering that the second we desire it, it's ours. The second we desire it, it's for us. Oh, I love that my hair is slipping. How dare you? How dare you, hair? I'm going to unconditionally love my hair right now. How dare it slip? So that's what I'm saying, is to unconditionally love your hair, Allison. Do it. You can unconditionally love it. Who cares what it looks like? You're here to share a message, not your hairstyle tips. Okay. So, yeah, unconditional love just feels better. And we can practice it with ourselves. We can practice it with others. Sometimes it's easier with others at the very beginning, right? Like, it's just easier to love the sun coming up every day. It's easier to love my breathing apparatus because it breathes without my knowledge. So it just does it, which is amazing. Like, when you think about our body and the interconnectedness of every single organ, cell, neurotransmitter, it's wild, right? Like, there's some serious things going on inside here, and that's amazing. That's something that we can always love. We can always love ourselves, which are omnipotent and connected to source. We can always love them. We can say, even if we're not feeling well, oh, that's okay, my cells are seeking balance, and go the Joseph Murphy route and just affirm for health anyway and say, I am healthy. Be like the 5-year-old child who had a cough and said, oh, or a sore throat, and said, oh, it's passing away now. It's passing away now. So it's okay to enjoy signs and be happy. But I just want you to come to a place where you make yourself happy. The sign doesn't have to be there. Your SP doesn't have to show up with a box of chocolates and roses. It's just you, because you're consistent up here. You're persisting up here until it hardens into fact, and even then some, because everything needs a little maintenance. Everything needs our good feeling thoughts to continue, right? We need to not dwell on the negative and just subtly redirect our thoughts and affirm any situation that we want to become more, and grow our attention to what we want to look at and become more with what we want to look at. So yeah, just some thoughts on unconditional love. Practice being an unconditional lover. If it's too hard to love yourself right now, because we're practicing being so hard on ourselves, right? So just practice with the sun coming up every day. Practice with the planets in their alignment. Oh, the planets are in their alignment. Like, when you think about their trajectory and how different they all are, somehow it works. And we haven't seen the other solar systems that can do that yet. I'm sure that they're out there somewhere, but we haven't seen them. So if we're the only solar system that does that, all those trajectories just making their way around the planets, around the sun, like, that's kooky for Cocoa Puffs that they never run into each other, right? Like, it's wild that they would just be also worked out like that. So focus on things like that. And when you wake up in the morning, yes, another day to express my desires, another day to feel my desires, because it might take a little time to feel it if you haven't before, and you might need examples from film and TV, but you can always think towards your desires with our other gift, speech. We never have to speak against our desires just to prove it to anybody else that we're human or that we're learning or whatever. We get to speak with our very powerful voice, our I am voice, as much as we want and in the exact way that we want, right? We don't have to speak out loud what we do not wish to come to pass. We get to speak forward with our gift of speech and guard our heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. So that's just a little something about unconditional love that I wanted to share. Be happy with signs. But you can always give any sign you want to yourself in your imagination and feel just as happy. So don't need the outside to show you anything. Need your inside imagination to show you everything. And the 3D will catch up. We all know this. Okay? So thank you, and thank you for my recent new subscribers. I welcome you, and we're gonna build a fun community here. I love YouTube. I love talking about this stuff. So please put any questions down below if you like. Feel free to share and tell your friends and subscribe and such. And it's going to be a continuing evolution because I am going to learn how to edit. And that's one thing I'm doing in my imagination. I'm like, ooh, I'm so good at learning how to edit. Ooh, I can afford editing software. I can afford a better camera, and I'll learn how to hook it up with. I have an amazing. It's older, but I have an amazing audio recorder from one of my old sound mixers, a very beautiful machine that still works. So I'm like, I want to use it. So like, I'm like imagining being able to use it and figuring out how to sync the sound and the video from the camera and have that feel amazing. Like, I'm just like, let's just see it all happening. Let's just see like me being able to edit. So I understand this. I understand what it's like to go into your imagination and get something in there that you don't have out here. So this was supposed to be done 5 minutes ago. I guess I got rambly, but thank you for listening, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for coming along the journey with me. And we're gonna have a lot of fun here because no matter what, this is always fun and it's always interesting. So I'm gonna go fix my hair and then move on with my day, and as should you. And thank you for stopping by and having a listen. Okay, ciao, bye.